Hello again and welcome back to my second video, where I will discuss some more possible connections and theories about BABYMETAL's upcoming show Legend 43, the final stop of the 2023 to 2024 World Tour. Now this show is already a bit of a wild card. A lot of us were hoping that after such a successful return from their hiatus, the tour final would mean a return to Tokyo Dome. But BABYMETAL did what they like to do and gave us a surprise, and the show will be in quite a small venue in Okinawa. I wasn't able to find a source for it, but I did hear that the local government of Okinawa invites and supports artists to perform there, so that may very well be the most significant reason for Okinawa being chosen as the tour final. But I still wanted to try and suss out any other potential links that might be happening for this show. Just to cover the basics, Okinawa refers to a prefecture of about 2/3 of the Ryukyu Islands, south of mainland Japan, and also an island itself, Okinawa Island. What many foreigners especially don't know though is that the Ryukyu Islands used to be their own kingdom with its own indigenous language, culture, practices, and beliefs, before being colonized by Japan and finally turned into a Japanese prefecture in 1879. And today, Okinawa is a popular tourist spot due to its warm climate and beautiful beaches and nature. The Okinawan connection is highlighted by the announcement image. The three fox-like lions in the show poster are clear references to Shisa, Ryukyuan cultural artifacts that are considered to be wards against evil. And it's quite common for tourists to buy souvenirs with Shisa as the motif after visiting Okinawa. As we know, BABYMETAL tend to babymetalize cultural icons and motifs. Some fun examples of this are the four-shaped lightsabers, and my personal favorite, the megutonification of Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. The Shisa also seem to be a crossover with Kitsune, since they are somewhat visually similar. A neat detail in the poster is the fact that the beards on the Shisa sneakily include initials for the girls: MM for Momo, S for Sue, and M for Moa. With BABYMETAL being metal spirits with the power of the fox god on their side, and Shisa being wards against evil, this match seems quite straightforward. The 43 in Legend 43 is also a reference to Shisa. Just like Song 4 plays with wordplay due to Japanese numbers having different pronunciations, 4 can be pronounced Shi and 3 can be pronounced San. Together, 4 and 3 become Shi-san, which is pronounced similarly to Shisa. It seems that the Shisa are an important new addition to the lore, at least for this show, considering that the show's title is named after it, there are Shisa in the poster, and even the show dates are a reference to it. Day 1 being on March 23 and Day 2 on March 24, during the 2023 to 2024 World Tour. The Shisa are also continuing the trend within BABYMETAL, once again set off by the release of Metari, and the first promotional material for Legend 43 were locally aired TV commercials with retro-inspired graphics. It seems like Metari indeed was the start of the METAMURA, or Metal Village concept, which was included in a hashtag in the post announcing Metari's release. Judging by Metari and the name METAMURA, this new concept seems to draw inspiration from traditional Japanese practices and nostalgia for past aesthetics and music, or maybe even a sort of nostalgia for a less urbanized age. I wouldn't be surprised if they either release or tease a new song, or even album at Legend 43, considering that it's the tour final and introducing a completely new concept in a small venue in a very different location and closing in on Fox Day. And in that case, that the music would also relate to the METAMURA concept and otherwise have a retro spin to it or some kind of nostalgic aesthetic. However, there is also another possible connection to the number 43. The science fiction book and novel The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Very badly summarized, it's an absurd and humorous story about an ordinary British man who narrowly escapes the total destruction of the Earth and then goes on a bit of a space adventure. The book and movie are famous for two things: the tagline, "Don't panic," and the number 42. In the story, a supercomputer is asked to find out the meaning of everything, and comes up with the unsatisfying answer 42. Considering BABYMETAL's multiverse concept, it wouldn't be strange for them to reference The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Furthermore, without getting way too into it, My understanding of The Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy is that the deeper theme is about the absurdity of life and how to navigate it. Things happen that are out of our control, and when we're given the supposed answers to life and its meaning, it still doesn't feel right. But by the end, the main character has realized that life's inherent meaninglessness means that you can do whatever makes you happy, and that you don't have to limit yourself to accept all these arbitrary rules and norms that society expects of you. By the end of the story, the main character has decided to just go out and see the world, or more accurately, galaxies, with his love interest, instead of keeping himself held back on Earth. The other one deals with similar themes, wanting something, but feeling lost and like you're not in control, and finally finding your own answer to your own questions. And then there is, of course, the whole multiverse concept and the fact that the other one is a concept album that has been explicitly described as describing multiple worlds. But as I mentioned, I'm working on a big analysis on the other one, so if this sounds confusing, I will be explaining more about my interpretation of the album in upcoming videos. There is another subject that I want to cover, and that is the possible similarity to the ancient Okinawan belief in onarigami, where women especially are considered to be connected to the gods and spirituality. But I've decided to keep working on that part of the script and make a separate video for it. Even though Legend 43 will already have happened and it may very well turn out to not be connected to the lore at all, I still think it's a really interesting topic that I really want to make sure to cover with care and respect. So that's why I'm going to take some more time to work on that script. So with that said, I'll wrap up this video here. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll find it interesting even though my predictions may not turn out to be 100% true. And also thank you so much for all the kind comments on my first video. I really was not expecting that video to get that much attention, so it really took me by surprise. So thank you again for that. Also, sorry for the audio in this one. There were some weird puffs in certain parts. I'm planning to get a better mic soon before I make any of my longer videos. I won't make a Fox Day prediction video, but I hope we all get some happy news then with more music and more tour stops in more countries. Until then, take care.